If you have your Bibles, turn with me, if you don't mind, to 1 Peter. We're going to hang out in chapter 3. But to fully understand chapter 3, you got to have the context of chapter 2. So we're going to start in verse 11 of chapter 2. But even before we get there, I need you to know that that there is an existential crisis that we must address, which is why I'm doing this two-part series. It really, really is. Here it is. Let me show you what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, the marriage rates of African Americans today, all adult African American, 34%. Let me say that again. 34%. No race can ever do anything great unless the family is at the center of it. It used to be 85%. And now, it's what, everybody? I can't hear you. What is it? 34%. Okay. Let me compare it to something else. Let's go. So, in the U.S., marriages are down 31%. This was from the 40s. In the Hispanic community, 10 to 15% it's down since the 40s. In the white community, 10 to 15% is down. In the African American community, it's down 51%. If the marriage is not working well, the family don't work well. Thirsty singles. That's why you don't run into a fool. Talking about you got to change your status. Because it leads to something tragic that happens in the house. This is so very important. And nobody else will tell you this. And so that's why you got to start in the church house. 34% down from 85% is because of a myriad of reasons, two of which I will show you today. And so I want you to read the scriptures, and I want you to get the context so we can fully appreciate where we're going with the text today. So that's why I want you to sit. Don't stand today. Let's go to the text. 1 Peter chapter 2. Watch what the author says. Beloved, I urge you, I'm pleading with you, I am begging you, as foreigners and strangers. That's who you are. Look at the person next to you and say, you're a foreigner. Look at the other one, you're a stranger. You're an exile. You're a foreigner. In other words, this ain't your home. Your home is in heaven with God, which means you're just passing through, which means don't make this everything because it's not. Don't make this God because it's not. He says, I'm pleading with you, Peter does, to abstain from fleshly lusts which wage war against the soul. Next verse. Here's where we're going now. This is the first reason for you to get mad. Here we go. Watch what he says, though. It's profound. Keep your behavior excellent. Context. Among the Gentiles, speaking of Jews, among the Gentiles. Why? So that in the thing in which they slander you as evildoers. So I want you to have excellent behavior even when they're calling you an evildoer. Even when you didn't do nothing and they're saying you did something bad. Listen, this is so important. They're saying, I want you to watch your behavior when people don't like you. Why? So that they may, listen, because of your, say these two words with me. Good. I want your behavior to be of good deeds when people don't like you, when people do things you don't like, when they slander you, when they call you by name. I want your good deeds to do something. What do I want it to end up with? As they observe them, good deeds, they will glorify God in the day of visitation or when they get saved. In other words, he's saying, when you got people who are against you, I want your behavior, which is your good deeds, to win them over so that they may glorify your God when they get saved, because you didn't do evil for evil, but you did good toward their evil. I promise you, you can keep that. I don't need it. This is too important. And I'm going somewhere with this, family. He says, the way I want you to behave is when they call you names, I don't want you to call them names. I want your good behavior to show them that you march to a different drumbeat than they do. Okay, watch what happens next. I'm going somewhere. This is the context of where I'm trying to take you. Let's go to verse number 13. Now, this is where it gets real tough. Here we go. He first says, break it down with me. Submit. That's like a cuss word to ladies. Submit yourselves. Why? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? For the Lord's sake. Here we go now. To every human institution, whether to a king as the one in authority, verse 14, or as to the governor as sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and the praise of those who do right. Go back to verse 13. Watch what he says now. Watch what he says. I want you to submit yourself to the king, the one in authority. Let me help you out. Here's what he's saying. He's saying that when I put somebody in power, it ain't your job to go to your little Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and rattle off with your little fingers about how wicked they are and everything else, even if you don't like what they're doing. It's your job to honor them because I allowed them to be there. You don't have to honor their bad behavior, but I want you to honor them because I recognize that I am God and I put them there. This is huge. I don't need your applause today because I'm in the text. And when the Bible says, it don't matter how you feel about it. Here's what he says. When you have parents, listen now, when you have parents and when you have preachers who dog out the leaders of the country or the state or your boss or the referee in your kids' games, and you have them dogging them out, what you are teaching your kids is you don't have to honor me. You only honor me when I think like you. No, by the way, where he's going is to the home. He's going to go to your home in a minute, which is going to show you why we got 34%. Because if you leave it okay and don't talk about the fact that you can dog somebody out who's in power above you, then when it comes to your house, because it's an option in your heart, you can do it in your house too. No wonder we do it tomorrow. Let me just tell you, you ain't my president. I hate your guts. I wish you were dead. I wish they had killed you. And you go off. Do you know Jesus? Because my Bible says the way you know you're honoring them is by how much you pray for them. I told you, when I tell you I don't need nothing from you today. My point of this whole sermon is not what you do there with the governor, with the mayor, with the president, with whoever it is. I'm going to your house in a minute, but I'm showing you where it starts. If you can't honor somebody you don't like, somebody you disagree with, somebody you can't take their policies, but if you don't know how to honor the position, even though you don't have to agree with their principles, then when it comes to your house, it's going to be buck wild crazy too. Therein lies the problem. But you don't want to see. By the way, there's something before I get to your house. I'm just trying to show you the context. Here's the context of what Peter just said. He said, when people do stuff that you don't like, I want you to win them over with your good deeds so that, here's why, so that the gospel is more important than your politics, than your anything else that you do. Because I don't want to lose influence and can't preach the gospel because I ticked off half the world. Oh, I'm preaching today. It don't matter if you agree with it. Go talk to Jesus about it. He the one that says it through the Apostle Peter. I don't need to stay here because this is not where I'm going. I'm just showing you where it starts. When you get men and women from pulpits denigrating somebody who God has allowed to be the president or to be the governor or to be the referee or to be anything, and your kids see you doing it, then don't be mad when they cuss you out and say they don't want to have nothing to do with you because you modeled it for them, because you disagreed with somebody and you showed them how to act. We got to win them over without a word. Your good deeds should do it. Anyways, that ain't my point. I just needed to agitate you a little bit there and show you what's up. He goes to, I'm just showing you the context in which the passage I'm going to preach comes from. Next one, let's go. Next one. They don't like me there. They ain't going to like me for the rest of the way. Go to the next one, verse 15. Verse 15. Here we go. For such is the will of God, that by doing right, listen, you may silence the ignorance of foolish men. But because you talk so much, you don't silence them, you just agitate them more. Oh, I'm preaching already. Here we go. Next verse. You're going to tear this one out of your Bible. Just tear it out of your Bible. Here we go. He goes to the second one. He says, for those of you who work, he says, hey man, act as free men. Here we go. And do not use your freedom as a covering for evil, but use it because you are now, he bought you with a price, a bondservant of God. And he's telling you, I don't want you to so ruin your relationships that you can't even have a conversation with somebody who don't think like you. Or somebody who worked for you and didn't do what you expected them to do, who you work for. I don't want you to ruin your witness so you can't talk to them about matters that matter more than politics or matter more than a paycheck. And that is the gospel. Remember how he started. You're a foreigner. You don't live here. Don't act like this is your house. You don't live here. This ain't permanent for you. You got somewhere else you're going. Next verse. Here's what he says. He goes from government, then he goes to your boss. Now read this. He says, honor all men. That's not how you read it. How you read it is, honor those who vote like you. Honor those who think like you. Honor those who look like you. Honor those who give you what you want. You want to rewrite the Bible. He says, honor all people. Then he says, love the brotherhood. Here we go. The reason you don't honor all people is because the truth is, you don't fear God. And you don't fear God, so therefore, you ain't honoring no king because you don't care what God does to you, but you ain't honoring nobody in authority above you when they wicked and when I don't like them. That's not what Daniel did. Daniel did what he's always done. You are over the country, do what you do. You make a law that disagrees with what I believe, I'm going to simply do what I've always done. Before the law and after the law. Let it be God to determine what happens to me after that. What I'm not doing is, I'm not getting in your lane to try to tell you how you should govern. I'm going to stay in my lane and worship the God that I know is the one who's given me breath. That's who I'm going to focus on. You focus on you. But we got a generation of people who think it's okay to get to YouTube, it's okay to get to everything, and just rattle off what you got to say. Here we go. None of that's the main point of the sermon. It's just getting you to it. All right, clear all that? Let's go to chapter 3, verse 1. This is where I'm going. Chapter 3, verse 1. Lord, by the way, I have on a bulletproof vest and I got extra security. Here we go. Let's go. Hold on. He says, in the same way. In other words, he says, in whatever he's going to be talking to, he says, in the same way, just like I told you for the king and the president and anybody else, just like I told you for the boss above you, now it's your turn. He's going to say, in the same way, I want you to do what I just said to them, which is, I want you to honor God, and the way you do it is by when they treat you evil, when they don't do what you want them to do, I want you by your excellent behavior. By their excellent behavior, I want you to set them up so that they can glorify God in the end because of you. All right, we'll move it now, and then let's get to the word. Here we go. I'll try to set it up the best I know how. In the same way, you... Do you see how anybody say nothing? You see that? Anybody have nothing to say? No, under no circumstances, when I say ladies, and I say guys, yeah. And it's no, watch this. Gentlemen, only you. Watch this, ladies, watch this. Gentlemen, in the same way you see how they're passionate? You see all of a sudden, they ain't never been that loud before. But because the text ain't talking to them, and they know what's coming, they'll be like, wives! You wives, by the way, gentlemen, who's it talking to? Good. So you don't get to preach this sermon because it's talking to the wives. Let God do his work in it. Then he says, be, here go our word. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Ladies, help me out. Thank you, ladies. Good job, ladies. Be submissive, first of all, to your own husbands. This is a whole sermon right here. This word right here. There are too many of y'all that want to be submissive downtown, but not in your own house. Which means you're worshiping the money god, because when they're messing with your money, you're willing to be submissive. When it happens to be God, you say, whatever, God, I'm going to do me. Hey, no. No, not today. Not today. Hey, gentlemen, I probably forgot to tell you. Gentlemen, hey, come here, gentlemen. Listen. Don't say a word. Just pray quietly and fervently that God will do a mighty work. That's all your job is. I don't want to hear no amens from no brothers unless I ask everybody to clap. I'm going to relieve the tension sometime. Hold on. Here we go. This is a really powerful passage. Watch what he says. Be submissive to your own husbands. Here we go now. So that even if any of them are disobedient to the word, meaning they're not following the word, what God has asked them to do, and you're frustrated with it, he tells you what to do. So that they may be one without a word. By their behavior of their wives. What do you want? Same thing he told the guys up top. I want you to win them over without a word. Ladies. Here's what the culture don't tell you. Because of how men are, the way God's built them, their physical structure is almost intimidating and overpowering. But ladies, you got a powerful tool too. It's called your tongue. That's what it's called, your tongue. And you use it to chop him down to size. Here's the problem. Men and their dominance is known. The culture knows that that's a no-no. You don't ever intimidate no woman with your size. Everybody knows that. It's common. You know what we don't know? And you know what we never say? Ladies, quit using your tongue to cut that man. Quit using your words to cut him down to size. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. It's actually celebrated. Yeah, girl, you better tell him what's up. He better know what's up. He done messed with the wrong one. Oh, yeah, you better show him. Why am I doing this? I must have seen it somewhere before. It gets better. Watch it. Watch it. Watch the text. Watch the text. One family. Next verse. Verse 2. Watch what he says now. As they observe your, same word, pure and respectful. The word respectful means as unto God. So as they observe your pure and as unto God respectful behavior. Same thing you must do with the people over you. You must respect them as unto the Lord. The Lord put them there for a reason. If something's happening that you don't like, I want you to appeal to God, not to them with your mouth first. Next verse. Verse 3. It gets, He talks first about your behavior, your actions. What should you do with your actions? He tells you, right? I want you to win them over without a word. Now he goes to your beauty. All the single ladies, you listen to me? All the single ladies, listen. He tells you, you focus on the wrong thing sometimes. He tells you. Watch what he says. He says, your adornment must not merely be external. The braiding the hair. Ladies, if you spent more time cleansing your heart daily than changing your wig or your hairstyle daily, then maybe you'd have many more marriages saved. If you just cleanse your heart daily and ask God to help you there, instead of spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours every single week, every other week, then maybe the culture wouldn't be impacting us as much as it currently does. He continues, though, wearing gold jewelry. Then he continues, or putting on dresses. Boy, that's old-fashioned, ain't it? I'm gonna read it. The PCE version. It's called the Pastor Conway Edwards version. Here we go. Pastor Conway version. Or putting on leggings. Yoga pants. Lululemon. If you didn't spend so much time having everything, no, leave it alone. Let's take me out of the Bible, put the Bible back, take it all out, put the Bible on this. Yeah, there we go. That's here's what he said. He said, watch what's going on the inside, not just what's happened on the outside. This is so powerful. Watch the next verse. He's going to explain why. Watch it now. Next verse. Here's what he says. But let it be the hidden, there it is, part you can't see, person of the heart. Here we go. With the imperishable, the thing that can never go away, quality of a quiet and gentle spirit. No, that's the spirit that, by the way, all the single men, your turn. If you will look for the quiet and gentle spirit before you look for you got it, then maybe marriage will work a little longer. Because here is what makes a lasting marriage. Somebody who knows how to act when they don't get what they want, and that they don't lose their cool and act a plumb fool because you didn't get what you want, and then want to tear the person down because of it. But they know that I need to go to God before I come to you, because God's the one that can change you. I can't change you. Here we go. So he says, here we go now. This is the part that breaks my heart, that most people don't get. Which is precious in the sight of God. Then why we don't have no master class on gentle and quiet spirit? That's what, you want to make some money? You ain't going to make none. But you want to make some? Do a master class on quiet and gentle spirit. Do a master class on, hey man, here's how you walk with God in a godly marriage. Ladies, quiet and gentle spirit. You will have $0. Because nobody wants to say that. No, the truth is partially, it's because for a long time, women didn't know how to have conflict and do it well, so they just took anything. And abuse went on for a long time. And so what you do is you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but now you say, okay, God, how do I do this in a balanced way? And which is why I'm going to show you that today. It's powerful because when you don't do this, you take matters in your own hand. And when you take matters in your own hand, you know the rest. 34%. All black adults, 34% of them are married, the lowest among any race. Anyways, here we go, 5 and 6, and then I'm done. Now it goes to history, come on. For in this way, in the former times, the holy woman of God, here we go, ladies, here we go, who hoped in God, that's where their hope is, not in their power to change their man, but who hoped in God, used to adorn themselves, being submissive to their own husbands, last verse, so much so that they went to Sarah, who obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, that's a whole sermon, and you have become her children if you do what is right, without, here is the word, read it with me, without being by any fear. So watch what happens. When you hope in God, you're not fearful anymore by nobody because your hope is in God, and he is the protector of who you are. Then when you do that, now you're free by your good deeds without using your mouth, taking matters in your own hand, to then have a quiet and gentle spirit because your appeal is not to the man over you, it's to the God over that man. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what it looks like. Put the screen up for me with all 6 sections of the whole passage now. Here's what it looks like. It looks like this. You hope in God, which then leads to your holiness because you belong to God, which then lead to you being fearless, which then leads to you doing good deeds, which equals also you having a quiet and gentle spirit, which is why you can be submissive, because your submission is ultimately to God, who is the one that runs everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just telling you, you can keep doing what you want. You can keep doing what you've always been doing. But it's not working because it's now 34% and going down. So might as well we trust God. But nobody wants to hear this. Nobody wants to hear anybody talk about it. So ladies, I need you to sit back and I need you to write something down now. I'm going to give you 4 ways to get into the mind of a man. 4 ways to understand what men go through daily. Just please, ladies, before I give you the title of this message, that's what I want you to do. Here we go, all 4. Number 1, how to understand men. Number 1, ladies, you have to do this. This is hard for you, ladies. I know it is, but you have to imagine this. Remove from your life, ladies, your closest friends and network. Why? Because 15% of men don't have no friends. 0. Ladies, between 15 and 50, got 1 or 2 friends. Ladies, I know you got 400. But we got 1 or 2. So when stuff go down and ain't nobody talking to us, we talking to ourselves. So if you're going to understand us, you need to understand that we're not running to 100 men. Number 2, watch this. I want you to, ladies, God's given you a deep sense of intuition and instinct. If you're going to understand a man, I want you to remove your deep sense of intuition and instinct, and because men think logically. I know God's given you unique gifts, and this is not everybody everywhere. This is just generally true, right? But you got to realize how we think logically. We don't have the stuff God's given you. You got it. We don't. So if you're going to understand us, you got to understand how we think. Number 3, this is so important. Ladies, oh my God, please. Link your value, ladies, your value, if you want to understand us, link your value to external standard of productivity, how much and how well you do. If you're going to get us, you got to know, I'm not saying this is godly. I'm saying this is how we think. All we think is, hey, man, I got to make sure I'm making it out here in this world, man. Do I have what it takes to make it? Can I produce? Can I make it? The way I feel is determined based on how good I am and how well I produce. Lastly, ladies, this one is so huge. Please remember this. Ladies, imagine you can't, but try your best. Imagine experiencing 1/10 of the validation you get daily. That's what a man gets daily. Imagine 1/10 of what you get every single day. That's what he gets. So when he gets 1/10 of what you get, then he comes home and then he gets gas from you too. Now what's the man to do? But if you're going to walk in his shoes, if you're going to understand who he is, then you got to know how he thinks, which is why this whole thing is so important. Now, all right, I'm done. That's all preamble. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. 10 ways women emasculate men. 10 ways women emasculate men. I'm going to give you all 10. And then I'm going to ask you to go home and ask God, will you help me not perpetuate this mess? I want you to rank yourself on each. 5, meaning God has given you the grace to do this. You don't struggle with this one. 1, meaning, Jesus, it's me that's standing in the need of prayer. And I want you to rank yourself. But before we get there, let me set it up. Ladies, there's a house we're trying to build. Men are. And it starts with marriage, then it goes to family, then it goes to the church, community, and nation, and all the rest are balanced pillars of biblical manhood. And all collapse when the pillars lean out of balance. Here they are. Number 1, God says, man, what I want you to do is to realize that you're a king. And as a king, I want you to have vision. Single ladies, you listen to me. Because if you don't have this, you're going to give it to him. And if you give it to him, you're going to keep leading him for the rest of his life. Number 2, you need to be a warrior. And as a warrior, you're there to protect your family and fight for them. Gentlemen, number 3, you're there to be a mentor. And as a mentor, you're there to teach. You're there to disciple. You're there to pour into. Lastly, as a friend, you're there so that you can connect emotionally with your bride, with the people and kids that are important to you. When this happens, the house is built on the foundation of Jesus Christ and a man standing erect and pouring into and leading his family well. When it does not happen, then here's what happens. The man, because of the environment, sometimes, ladies, that you create, or because of his own lack of personal responsibility, then he abdicates his role. He does not do his role fully, and because he doesn't, he either becomes a tyrant or an abdicator. Ladies, when he's not a warrior and not doing what God's called him to do, then it's either because he is a brute or because he's a coward. When this is not acting right, it's because he said, I give up, I'm going to be a coward, I'm not going to try anything else, or I become a brute, I'm going to bulldoze my way into this thing. Then a teacher, a mentor, either, ladies, he's going to be a dunce, don't know nothing about God's word, or he's going to be a know-it-all, I know everything, you know nothing, so just let me do everything. Or he's going to be a friend that connects, and if he's a friend that connects, he's either going to be somebody who is a loner, and as a loner, he's saying, I have tried being a connector, it don't work, so I'm just going to be a loner and be by myself. I've tried to share my stuff, they don't want to receive my stuff, I've given it, I'm giving up. Or a smotherer, which is now where you just want to overdo the friendship and overshare in every area. When that happens, which is what's been happening, then when the house starts to fall down, don't complain because it's starting to fall down. Don't complain when stuff starts going bad and the house starts to fall apart. It's falling apart because the man, instead of being erect, is on one side or the other, and it's causing him to be imbalanced and not be who God's called him to be. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. I'm pleading with you. The race of the African American community depends on you. Because to do nothing and to do what you've always done and to follow the culture and to follow Hollywood will result in the house forever coming down. So then how do we change this? Well, ladies, I want you to turn your page over and I want you to see. I'm going to give you 10 ways to change it. Look at the person next to you and say, oh, he's teaching today. Ladies, 10 ways the culture and you have bought into it where we have emasculated men. Nowhere can you go in our culture, no movie can you watch in our culture where men are being honored from Hollywood. None. Because everyone wants to tear a man down. And so it's crept into the local church. And so instead of following the Bible, you're now following Hollywood. I told you, not today. Number one, let's go quickly. Come on. Number one, let's go. Number one, first of all, if you're not careful, here's what's going to happen. Number one, you're going to try and change this man. The way you emasculate him is you try to change him. Men try to fix problems. Women try to fix the person. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Only God can truly change someone. You can't change him. Single people, that's why you listen up. Stop missionary dating. Talking about, well, after he lands with me and he tastes and see that how sweet God is, then he's going to do what I want. You're being a fool. You're just being unwise. You're going to bring him, this is how it goes every time. You're going to bring him to church, hey, pastor, then you fix him. He's not doing what I want him to do. He wasn't doing what you wanted him to do before you met him. You were just thirsty when you married him. You needed to get some. So you got some, and now you have it for the rest of your life. What do? Instead, try this. Encouraging his growth. Pray for him and trust that God is working in his life. This is so important, man. It really, really is. Ladies, listen to me. Every time you see a butterfly fly, what happens is before he became a butterfly, he had to come out of one of these. A cocoon. The reason he came out of this is because, here's what was happening. It's because, ladies, if you're not careful and you try to do everything for the man, then what you're doing is the thing that's meant to strengthen him, the thing that's meant to make him fly, the thing that's meant to let him soar. What you do is you prematurely say, no, you better get up out of there. You better get up out of there. And instead of using the thing that's meant to strengthen him, you break it down. And now he can't fly. And then when he comes out of there not being able to fly, you the same one bad. Talking about, well, why you ain't flying? Look at everybody else fly. Why you ain't flying? Because you did everything for him. Quit trying to fix the man and go to God instead. Can I get a witness, somebody? My God today. Number two. The second one is, you take over instead of trusting him. Ladies, you know you do that. A husband feels trusted. A husband who feels trusted will rise to the challenge. A husband who feels replaced will stop trying. Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to champion his potential, giving him room to lead and building his confidence in your marriage. Ladies, you know this, man. You do it all the time. The dude trying to go somewhere, he trying to drive or something. He be like, yeah, this is what we doing. Yeah, this is what we doing over here. This is what you're doing, ladies. And then all of you in the passenger seat, ladies. And he be driving, trying to do everything. And then, do you know what you do, ladies? This you. You be like, you know what? He don't know what the heck he doing. Let me get my own steering wheel. Here we go. You do it all the time. The joker trying to take you somewhere, but it ain't fast enough, quick enough. It ain't the right way. His way gonna get you there. But no, I need you to go the way I've always gone. Quit going your way. We need to stay off the toes. And you come up with every reason why. Instead of trusting him, you want to do your own thing. It's only a matter of time. Pastor Matt, come here. Ladies, be careful, man. This happens all the time, ladies. It really does. See, because sometimes, hold it, go right there. Because, ladies, sometimes what you don't realize happens to your husbands all the time is if I'm playing the role and I'm trying to pull, and ladies, you're in Pastor Matt's role, and he's trying to pull Pastor Matt, and he's trying to pull, and you're trying to get him to be you. You're trying to get him to change and be who you are and to do things your way. Keep pulling harder. Keep pulling your way. And over time, he's just going to let go. Because he's not going to be you. He's not. And since that's what you want so bad, you're going to let him give up the fight. I'm not suggesting even that that's the right thing, but I need you to realize what you do that causes him to say, okay, if that's what you want so badly, and if you want that more than you want me, then have what you want. And it goes, and it happens over and over and over. It starts in one area of your life, and then it goes to more and more and more and more areas. So we got to be careful. Number 3, Jesus. Number 3 says mothering him. My God, today. Honor fuels leadership. If you treat him like a child, don't be surprised when he stops leading like a man. If you take away his position of superiority, the headship that God's called him to, it will desexualize the relationship. Instead, try this. Be his partner, not his parent. Believe in his ability to handle life's challenges. No, I know what you're saying. You say, Pastor, if you knew the deadbeat man I got, you would understand why I done tried all of that. And you coming up with all the excuses instead of asking God to show you your own heart. There's a reason we're at 34%. And so let's try and do something just a little different. Ladies, for too long, man, this is you. Okay, I got the steak and I blended the steak so that you feel a little better. And okay, go in the chair now. Go in the chair. Take a picture of this. This how you look, ladies. Talking about, all right, Johnny. And you want him to eat the blended up steak that you blended for him. So that and if you keep mothering him, who wants another mother? Ladies, the next time you treat him and you want to mother him like that, remind yourself that you're putting him in the baby chair. Maybe we'll help you not emasculate him one more day. Number 4. Number 4 says, Lord of mercy. Ooh, withholding respect until he earns it. This is what a lot of people want to do. This is what you want to do with the person above you. This is what you want to do with those in government. This is what you practice it outside, and then you bring it in the house. I don't respect you. So you got to earn it first. Respect isn't a reward for perfection. It's a catalyst for growth. That's why you need to give it to him so he can grow. Instead, show him honor in the words and actions. Your respect calls out the best in him. Can I show you what you do? Ladies, can I show you what you do? Remember now, gentlemen, don't be talking about you ain't going to church next week. I need you. Your turn is next week. I'm just talking to the ladies first today. Everybody listen. Let me show you, ladies, let me show you what you do. This don't make no sense, but you do it. Ladies, here's what you say. I got some water over here. And after you start blooming, after you start showing the fruit, after you start becoming who God's called you to do, then and only then, I'm going to give you some water. Well, he don't need it now. He already became who God's called him to be. What he wants to know is when you can't see nothing and the seed is in there, will you begin the process? and say, babe, I got you, babe. I got your back, babe. Me and you alone, babe. This is all we need. And will you then start to water and respect the man so that when you see this, there's a reason it's here, and it's here because you poured your life into that man. Quit telling him he has to earn it, ladies. He needs you to honor him so that he knows he's not respected out there and not in here. But he's respected in here and out there. We all right so far? Number 5. Oh, my God. Undermining him in front of the kids. Undermining him. He's talking about, hey, kids, okay, no TV tonight. Let's get to bed early. You come behind him. He go outside to do something. By the time he come back, you told the kids they got 15 minutes. No. The man just said, no TV. But you want to show who got the real. I got the real power. You don't have nothing. So you want to show and you want to undermine. Listen, when you undermine your husband in front of your kids, you are teaching them what to do to those in authority above them. It's a choice if you want to follow or not. You know where they got it from? You. Because you undermine them all the time. Here it is. When you undercut your husband's authority, you're not just weakening him, you're teaching your children to do the same. What should you do? Affirm his role, his decisions, and his leadership, whether he is present or absent. It's your assignment. Why are we running away from it? Number 6. Come on, we're almost done. Number 6. Oh, my God. Ain't this the truth? Being very controlling. Have any controlling people in the house? You won't even admit it, would you? You're very controlling. Ladies, listen, watch it now. Men use their physical presence to dominate, and women use their words to cut men down. One is socially acceptable. The other is obviously not. Ladies, this can't be socially acceptable for you to cut you. Ladies, tell the truth. You ever hear another woman talk so bad about her husband? You be like, what's it like to live with you? Oh, my God. You be like, how does the dude even breathe in your house? There are too many men that come home, and they're coming home, and by the time they go in the driveway, they be praying, "Oh, Jesus, I don't know who I'm going to find today, Jesus. But will you please give me one more day of grace so I can handle it in this house?" Why is a man stressed out about going in his own house? Because you don't know how to control your own tongue. And you don't know how to go to your chair and spend time with Jesus and bombard heaven instead of bombarding your wife. Where did you learn that from? Your parents. Here we go. What should you do instead? Let go of the need to micromanage and invite partnership rather than forcing compliance. It's too powerful. Stop controlling the dude, man. Oh my God. You can have control or you can have growth. You can't have both. So if you control him, he ain't going to grow. If you let him grow, then it means you're going to have to stop controlling. Preach, Pastor. Tell it, Pastor. By the way, there are men in here right now standing up. You just can't see them. I see them. They're standing up. Let me show you. This is what they look like. That's what they look like. They look like. I feel you, fellas. I feel you. But don't worry, I'm coming for you next week, too. Don't worry. Ladies, watch this one. Ladies, stop comparing your man to other men. Stop emasculating the man by comparing him to other men. A man thrives when he's appreciated for who he is, not resented for who he isn't. Quit comparing him to everybody else. Celebrate his strengths. Gratitude for what you have kills comparison for what you don't. Listen to me. Listen. In this church and in many, The number one reason people get divorced in this church is because the woman makes more money than the man. And she don't know what to do when he don't make as much money as she does. And she don't know how to honor him when she don't have the work ethic that he does. And so she tries to change him to have her work ethic. Well, when you married him, he didn't have the work ethic. He can't make as much money because he don't have the earning power like you do. So why you want to force him? Instead, why don't you lower your standard of living and live off of his salary and not yours, so you don't have a concern in the world because you make so much more. You can save all of yours and enjoy what you got and just live at a lower level. I know I'm not going to hear no amen to that. Let me show you what it looks like. This is so important. Let me show you what it looks like. Ladies, when you compare yourself to your man and your husband to another man, here's what happens. You say, hey, why you can't be like this one over here? I need you to get out of here, and I need you to be like this one over here. And I don't like this one either, actually. I like this one today. Why you can't get out of here and come over here? And before you know it, the brother can't grow any deep roots because you keep transplanting the vision of who you want him to be from one person to the next person to the next person, and now he's confused trying to follow you. I'm so glad I don't preach for applause, because y'all real quiet in here today. Listen to me, man. Let's stop comparing these brothers, please. Just appreciate the one you got. And thank God for the way he has blessed you with the one you got. Number 8, demeaning his interests. The man loves MMA. The man loves boxing. The man loves Formula One. The man loves basketball. He loves, and you despise the ball. This is all you do. You don't take care of none. You don't wash no dishes. Let me talk to Jada for a moment. You won't pick up no shoes. All you do is sit down and watch soccer. What I'm saying? No, you don't get to demean him. Hey, I promise you know what you should try sometimes? But I just don't like it. He watches too much football. Why don't one day you teach him and say, hey, babe, can you explain to me how football really works? And then every now and again just say, hey, babe, can we run a little play? I'll be the quarterback and you come get me. Hey, come get me. Come get me. You will be surprised. He will push down every couch, get through everything to come get you. Lord have mercy. Next football season, try it. These activities provide stress relief, camaraderie, and a healthy outlet for competition and adventure. Instead, create space for his masculinity to flourish. A stronger man always has a happier wife. You want him to lead. You want him to provide. You want him to lead out front. Oh God, number 9. Oh God. Stop weaponizing sex. Stop weaponizing intimacy. Ladies, come here. Intimacy isn't a tool for manipulation. It's the glue that strengthens your bond. So instead, try this. Use physical connection as a means to grow closer, not as a bargaining chip. Ladies, can I show you how it works sometimes? You know what it is? It's like a bridge, isn't it? It's like a bridge. A bridge is supposed to connect two pieces of land, and so the bridge is supposed to bring you closer and make you connect to each other. Can I show you what it looks like in most houses? It's like a wooden bridge. But the lady strategically has gone out and take out some of the wooden panels. So now the brother got to figure out which plank's the good one. And so he's trying to connect with you, and he'll be like, oh God, is she gonna make, and you're making the man walk around as if, oh God, I gotta be perfect so I can get some. You laughing like I'm lying. Because the moment he messes up, you better sleep over there. I'm tired. Leave me alone. It's not a couples conference. Leave it alone. Let's move on. Let's move on. Last one. You withhold approval and affirmation. You give the man the silent treatment. What you actually say is, no, you're not getting any approval or affirmation from me. Appreciation is the currency of intimacy. Often when men open up and share emotions, it is used against them. Instead, what we want you to do is be his biggest encourager, be his cheerleader. Your words of affirmation give him the confidence to take on the world. Ladies, here's your assignment. You have got all 9. Will you quit trying to change the man? Will you quit trying to make him become something that he's not? You can't change him. That's you, that's him. Instead, you can have a conversation about how you want the relationship to flow, and you can have a vision about this relationship. But stop trying to change each other and trying to agree on what we can do as a relationship. Ladies, what the man's going to do is he's going to keep knocking. And he's going to knock at the door, and he's going to say, hey, I want to connect. And when he hears nothing back from you, it's not going to be as enthusiastic the next time when he knocks on the door to try to get connection. And so the next time he's going to go like this. Not as fervent, not as enthusiastic. And the last time he's going to go like this. I've tried. And then you're going to leave him on the loner side. Because the more he tries and the more you don't affirm him, you don't appreciate him, he doesn't feel none of that. Then he's going to stay on the loner side and he's going to say, let me just face this by myself. Ladies, I know I'm talking to you today, and I know it's challenging. But I'm going to ask you, will you just consider this week, God, which one of these 10 do I have a tendency to do? Which one of these 10 did I see growing up? And how do I change the picture for the next generation so that they don't see what I saw and they don't do what I do? So that the environments you create for your husbands don't force them into becoming a coward, a dunce, a loner, a know-it-all, a brute, a tyrant, an advocator. But instead, that they begin the process of saying, I'll be the king God calls me to be. I desire to be the warrior God's called me to be. I desire to be the mentor. And I desire to be the friend. And will you fan those flames? And will you be the cheerleader for those pillars that God's called to build this house that he's asking you to build together? Will you pray with me, Father? The percentages are staggering. How we've just thrown the towel in. Will you raise up a generation that says, not so with us? Will you raise up a generation that says, from this point forward, not so with us? I pray for every lady, every woman of God in this church, everyone. God, you know they're all of them. They're incredible women of God. What the enemy does is he uses our weaknesses and try to create division and wedges between us. Will you let every woman in this house see themselves? And will you begin the surgery, the spiritual surgery that has to take place? So we create environments where men get to thrive and not where men feel I'm being attacked again. Thanks for the opportunity around your word. Thanks for a body of believers that are not addicted to words that only are for their aggrandizement or for their blessings. But thank you for a body of believers who knows that the word of God sometimes cuts like surgery so we can get the heart we need to do the assignment you've called us to do. Thank you for the men, every last one of them. Thanks for the fight that they have fought and the fact that they're keeping in the fight. Continue to lead them and continue to guide them and continue to help them fervently pray for these incredible women that you have blessed us with. Thanks for the opportunity to show the world what it looks like when you have a Trinitarian relationship, husband, wife, and God in the middle. We pray this in Jesus' name. Everybody say.